this online exclusive interview on the phone right now, all the way from Hollywood, California, is none other than my longtime close personal friend, Claudia Wells. Who's Claudia Wells? Well, she made Jennifer Parker a household name. Jennifer Parker, of course, was Marty McFly's girlfriend in the original Back to the Future. How's it going, Claudia?
It's great, TC. Thank you for having me on your show.
Always a pleasure to talk to my good friend, Claudia Wells. Now, for the fans out there who don't know, how did you get your start in the world of acting?
Actually, I started in San Francisco when I was 8 years old in opera at San Francisco Grand Opera House.
Really?
That was my official beginning, and I did 10 operas between the age of 8 and 12, and then talked my mom into moving to Los Angeles when I was 14 so I could have a real acting career, and it just worked out great.
So you want to be the next Pavarotti?
No, but I was good friends with him.
Now, you started off in doing TV series such as Fame, Simon and Simon, Trapper John, MD. What was it like going from doing these daily roles to co-starring with the biggest television star on the planet at the time, Michael J. Fox, in a little film called Back to the Future? And how did you actually get the role of Jennifer?
Well, that's a very good question. I actually starred in 5 TV series that all went for about 7 episodes, and I was very blessed. I had worked with huge television actors, Ed Asner, Eileen Brennan, Dean Jones from Herbie the Love Bug. I worked with a lot of great actors and great directors. So working with Michael was awesome, but I'd already worked with really high-level actors, so it wasn't like a ooh la la type thing for me. It was more just very exciting that was my first movie, and I was in a Steven Spielberg project, which is anyone's dream. And how I got it was I auditioned for the starring role in Gremlins, Goonies, and Young Sherlock Holmes, and all 3 parts, it was down to me and 1 or 2 other girls. So by the time I went into Amblin again for Back to the Future, it was all the same producers and casting people, and I just walked in and I said, hey, it's me again. And I had one audition that was this awesome experience for 2 hours with Steven Spielberg and a guy who was on his 11th callback for Marty McFly. And I got the part from there. Just one audition.
Now, when they were making Back to the Future, everybody knows that Eric Stoltz was the original Marty McFly. Did you have a chance to film any scenes with Eric?
Actually, we didn't film scenes, but we did photo sessions for there was supposed to be a picture in his wallet of me as his girlfriend. And I'd known Eric because we'd both studied with the great acting teacher Stella Adler in Hollywood. So I'd known him from when he first moved out from Santa Barbara with his long hair and hippie ways. He's a great guy, great actor. I haven't seen him in ages.
Now, Back to the Future became the #1 motion picture of 1985, loved all over the world. What did it feel like having your first motion picture be such a blockbuster hit?
I wasn't really aware of how popular it was until the last several years. At the time, I was kind of shy, and I was used to working, and so I don't love watching myself. I love the actual process of the acting. So I was a little oblivious to all that. It's just the last several years where I'm getting so much fan mail and interest in different, show opportunities that I see how much love is out there for the film and for my character, which is really a blessing and humbling and kind and all that good stuff.
Are there any deleted scenes that we don't know of?
You know what? There was one, and I can't really remember perfectly, but it was they did a different thing when Marty McFly's father wakes him up in the middle of the night and scares him, pretending to be some dream. I remember reading it and thinking it was so funny and not seeing it in the film, but I couldn't tell you any more details than that.
Now, 1985 comes to the close. In 1986, you go back to the small screen where you take over the role of Linda Barrett, made famous by Phoebe Cates in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, in the TV version Fast Times. What was that like?
That was actually fun. It was the first time I'd worked with a bunch of kids. I'd mostly been the only kid working with a bunch of adults. So, and amazing how so many of the cast members went on to become superstars. Patrick Dempsey was in that, who became Dr. McDreamy, and Courtney Thorne-Smith, who starred in a bunch of TV series. And we got to work with Ray Walston, who's, such a great old-time actor. And we got to work with the same science teacher Vincent Schiavelli, who was in the movie, and then Ray was in the movie, and both of them have since passed away. So I'm glad I got to know them.
And didn't Amy Heckerling actually direct a few episodes?
Oh, yeah, she did. She's the one who cast me. And Moon Unit Zappa was the reality consultant, and then she ended up playing a character called Barbara. It was fun.
Well, 1986 comes to the close, and then, of course, in Hollywood, when you have a blockbuster, everybody's talking sequel, 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 sequel. When were you aware that they were going to do a sequel to Back to the Future?
I kind of knew right when the movie came out. I think there was something toward the end, or I don't know. It was just Bob Gale used to talk to me about my character in the sequels and the storyline and things. We kept in good, close contact.
Now, everybody wants to know, why did you decline to do the sequels?
Because my mom got very ill in between the movies. She got cancer, and it was just too much stuff going on at home. And I left acting, and I just left the whole thing and focused on what was going on at home.
Now, did you get an opportunity when the films were released to actually see them in the movies to find out what happened to your character?
I saw each one. It was totally different than the storyline for my character that was going to happen. But, oh well.
And have you ever got to run into Elizabeth Shue at all and say, hey?
No, I've been dying to meet her. She's a great actress. I've loved her work in different movies. No, I would love to meet her one day.
Unbelievable. Now, 26 years later, you get to do something a lot of actresses don't get a chance to do. You became Jennifer once again, reprising your role in the Back to the Future game. What was that like?
That was absolutely awesome. You've done your research. I really, really loved that, and you're right. It never occurred to me to have another chance of opening up the life of Jennifer, and it felt right, and I got to hang out with Christopher Lloyd a lot because he was the other character from the movie that was doing the voiceovers, and I was honored and thrilled that they got me to do it, and they seemed just as excited as me, so it was really cool, really cool.
Maybe Jennifer will have her own little sequel herself.
That'd be great.
Now, back in 1994, when you were away from acting, you opened up Armani Wells. Can you give the fans out there the 411 on Armani Wells?
I can. Actually, I don't know why it's online that it opened in 1994. We opened December 19th, 1991, which will be 21 years next month, or the month after next. It's a very high-end men's resale shop. So I sell only high-end designers from casual to formal. You can get jeans, you can get tuxedos, suits, skirts, belts, pants, even T-shirts, jackets. But it's all high-end Beverly Hills, Rodeo Drive designers, and I sell it for about 80% less than retail. So a lot of it is celebrity clothing or gazillionaire shopaholics, and I buy and I sell. And it's been going for 21 years. I've got an amazing clientele, and I can send clothes to people all over the world. I'm just about to get clothing on my online site that I've had forever, ArmaniWells.com. And people can also schedule personal styling appointments where I take care of them personally. And I seem to have a real skill and talent at making men gorgeous. And it's fun, and they get great deals and walk away really, really happy.
Now, has anybody come in off the street not knowing who you are, then all of a sudden going, hey, weren't you Marty McFly's girlfriend?
Yeah, that does happen, and I'm always shocked that they have such a clairvoyant memory from so long ago. And I've also had people who fly in I've had people from Hungary, Germany, France, Italy, and they fly in to come into my store and meet me, which is really flattering.
That's unbelievable. Almost 30 years later. And it's a great feeling when the fans remember something that you only thought was just going to be a little tiny project, and now it's lasted the test of time.
You're right, TC, because it was actually the smallest part I ever had.
And it's the most memorable one.
It's the one that everyone remembers, and I'm so blessed that that's the part I got. It's just perfect fate.
Now, getting back to the sequels of Back to the Future, was there anything that you would have done different?
Well, my role would have been different.
Yeah.
My part, the way it was described to me, was really big and throughout both movies. So I would have been different because my role would have been different. And also, Jennifer Parker was very much who I am, who I was. So it came very naturally to me.
Now, the final question is, as we approach the 30th anniversary of Back to the Future, now everybody wants to know, is there going to be a Back to the Future Part 4? I'm probably going to say there isn't going to be one, but if there was going to be one, what kind of storyline do you think you would like to do in it?
There won't be one, and Bob Gale's been very, very clear about that, because unless Michael can be Marty, there won't be another Back to the Future. So I won't try and put my ideas on perfection. They did such a great job, and it was such a perfect combination of people and experiences. I think I'm just going to leave it at that wonderful trilogy. And that if anyone wants to get autographs and they can't make it to Rhode Island or to other different shows that I sometimes do, if they go to ClaudiaWells.com, I personally sign Back to the Future pictures, and I ship them all over the world, and I'm happy to do that.
Unbelievable. Now, I have been fans of a lot of movie series and met people from the movie series, but Back to the Future stars are some of the greatest people on planet Earth.
Aw, thank you.
I'm looking forward to seeing you next weekend in Rhode Island at the Rhode Island Comic Con, and it's going to be one fantastic time, Claudia.
Thank you, and a shout-out to Stephen Clark for hooking us up, and BackToTheFuture.com, which is the official BackToTheFuture.com that Universal backs.
Well, it is the holy grail of Back to the Future websites. My good friend for 22 years, Steve Clark, out there at BTTF.com. Everything you ever need to know about Back to the Future, that guy knows it. That guy is unbelievable, and I want to thank him for personally hooking me up with my longtime close personal friend, Claudia Wells.
Thank you so much for having me on your show, TC.
The pleasure was all mine, Claudia, and we will see you in the future.